Alexis Jacobson.
I'm Natalie Dijon. Welcome to the Production Desk,
A podcast about the people and process of animation production.
Hi, Alexis and Alexis's parents.
Hi, Natalie.
Hi, Natalie. Nice to see you in person for a change.
Yes.
You too. And you have names. I know you're not just named Alexis's parents. So John and Sandy?
Correct.
I am John.
In fact, it was a great shock when Alexis was small and I was announced as the first time instead of as myself, as Alexis's mom. I'm going, oh, new identity.
Sorry, Mom.
You're like, I still have a name.
Mom,
Yes.
but it's always been confusing because it's Sandra, but then you shortened it to S-A-N-D-I, not with a Y.
I like the I.
Yeah.
Thank
it's
you.
unique. Before we kind of get into film, if you, Mom and Dad, would like to tell us about what you both did professionally. Dad, if you want to kick us off.
I was an airline pilot for Delta Airlines for about 34 years.
That's so cool.
I ended up flying international the last 5 years.
If you don't mind, Dad, if you could tell about how you got the job initially. This is a pretty badass story.
I
Dad.
was civilian trained, not military trained. And military trained pilots were in more demand than civilian trained pilots. And so every couple of weeks, I was updating my resume to both corporations and to airlines. I had heard a story about somebody who had made the effort to show up at an airline that was starting a new pilot class with the idea that if somebody didn't show up, this person would be slotted in. I became aware that Northeast Airline had a date for a new class, and I convinced a colleague of mine to drive all night after we worked a 10-hour day on a Sunday to drive from Long Island to Boston. And we arrived at 6 o'clock in the morning. We didn't know exactly where to go. And we ended up at a hangar for Northeast Airlines. And there was a guard at the door, and he said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Yes. We're interested in the class that's beginning today." And he misinterpreted what I said. He picked up the phone and he called the chief pilot, and he said, "I've got two of your boys down here." So he gave us directions to the office for the chief pilot. And when we got up to the office, we opened the door, and the chief pilot looked at us. He obviously didn't recognize it, and he asked us what we were doing. So I explained to him that we had driven up all night, and he said, "We wouldn't do anything like that, but as long as you're here, we'll give you a personality test and an IQ test." Following being tested, we were interviewed by the chief pilot. And as I was sitting there being interviewed, the chief pilot turned to me and said, "You see that table over there with a stack of papers on it? Those are the well-qualified applicants." It was about 5 or 6 inches thick. And he said, "Why should I hire you?" And I thought that I should say something that was just the opposite of what was expected. So I said to him, "I'll give you 3 reasons not to hire me. Number 1, I'm divorced. Number 2, I'm 1A in terms of the draft. Up to 26, one could be drafted at any time.
Okay.
But above 26 was a separate category. Very difficult to be drafted." As I say, number 3, I'm trying to think of the third one. And the telephone rings. And he's talking to somebody for a couple of minutes. And he turned to me and he said, "This may be your lucky day. We're starting a new class."
What? And then you just got in?
We were told that we would hear within 2 weeks. And I was given a telephone number to call. In 2 weeks, I called that number, and the secretary looked at the list, and she said, "Yes, you're on the list."
Oh my gosh. That's wild.
Right? Isn't that a fun story?
Yes, it is a fun story.
Mom, what about you? I know Mom's got such a fun... You do, though.
Well, the way we met was a cliche pilot and flight attendant because I was a flight attendant for 25
Oh, I
years.
love
So-
that.
And then when I was flying, when Northeast and Delta merged, I was a union rep for the Northeast flight attendants, and we didn't like the way they merged the seniority lists, so we attempted to go to arbitration. Long story short, we lost, but it inspired me to want to go to law school. I payroll deducted my tuition and put myself through law school, flying weekends and going to school 5 days a week, which was a little tiring, but it worked.
Oh
and
my
I did
gosh.
pass the bar, and I have not touched a law book since. So
Isn't that wild?
It's so impressive. I love that you attended classes and were like, this doesn't seem so hard. I think that's amazing.
a few years into my career somewhere, after John and I got together, which was way later, I got pregnant and flew as long as I could hide it. And then you weren't supposed to fly pregnant. Of course, everybody did. And then I took some time off having a little baby who was a pain. No, she was wonderful.
And it starts.
And it begins. So actually, I guess I have to say I was a flight attendant no matter what other training I
Who
had.
dabbled in law.
Yeah.
That's, very impressive. All of it.
I will say, I got very emotional seeing the movie about Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh, she was an idol of mine. That woman was just incredible.
It's pretty cool that, Mom, you were one of very few women at the time to go to law school.
Yeah. We could do a whole episode about that.
I know, a woman ahead of her time. So on our last episode, when we were talking about our families coming in town, it then popped into our heads of, oh, wow, what if we do an interview with our parents, which kind of goes back to the whole central idea and the impetus of doing this podcast of what do we do every day, and just the kind of fun spin of how our parents view our jobs and imagine what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, especially because I'm assuming that you're like me, where you call them either on the way to or from work. And so they either hear a sunny disposition or a grouchy end of day wrap up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All of it.
Again, we should just add it to the list of all the stories that could be told from crew, spouses, friends, cats, and parents.
I love when you pitch the idea, because I've had so many of these conversations with other production people where they're like, my parents don't really know what I do, or they still think I'm working on some old movie. And our running joke with a lot of people, even in our own industry, is, do you know what we do? So I thought this was a fun idea.
Kind of jumping off. So if someone asked you what I do for work, how would you explain it?
I would say you were in production, and that's about it. I would say you were an associate production manager, and nobody asks beyond that. They just go, oh. So I don't have to say anything after that. I think I can explain that basically what production does is to keep everybody else in line and on time and organized as you're creating a film.
I would add that you're working in animation.
Yeah. And we don't say you do cartoons.
That is a very succinct, to the point answer.
It's entertaining that the parents understand it more than people that we actually work with.
Who aren't trying to understand it.
Oh, that's
It
even
seems
sadder.
as if production, the definition changes depending on what area.
That's a good point. Whether you're working in edit or whatever.
That is a good point. Do you know some of the areas or the areas that Alexis has worked in?
There's art, edit, script.
Oh, you didn't even hesitate. Wow, that's impressive. I'll have to see if my parents get it right when we ask them.
When I was a kid, what did you think I would do for my career?
Serial killer. No.
Something related to the arts.
Yeah.
Because you're very talented at drawing.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, something creative.
Mhm.
I agree.
So did she draw as a kid?
Yes,
Yeah.
quite
And
well.
paint.
And paint. Not clay, but she's really good on paper. That didn't sound right, did it? Or canvas.
I
How's
guess
that?
I think that works.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom always makes fun of me 4th or 5th grade where we did clay bowls. I wanted mine to look like a flower, and you know how like the center of a flower, it was very phallic.
It was,
It was supposed to be like petals at the end of it, and I
Oh, no.
painted it pink.
it was just.
Oh, do you have photos?
Oh, it's still at home.
What? Oh, my gosh. I want to see this.
Yes, it's in the family room.
Yeah.
Hidden away.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh my god.
When did you guys know that she had an interest in film? Or were you a movie family? Did you guys like going to the movies?
Oh, we loved movies. We went to a lot of movies or saw a lot of movies at home.
That's a good point, Mom. Like, you are the one responsible for introducing me to Star Wars. Let's see. We have our favorite Christmas movies. That is like our annual tradition. To this day, I won't watch Silence of the Lambs because Mom thinks it's too scary for me, which, hey, respect. I don't need more nightmares than I already have. And being an Anglophile and loving Pride and Prejudice and everything that came along with watching like the BBC and A&E, and which was super formative.
Do you know I've never watched Silence of the Lambs either? Similarly, when it came out, I mean, we were too young, I think. And then when more kids started watching it, I think my parents also were like, no. And then I've never watched it.
Yeah, like respect. I know they're wonderful actors. I just don't think I need to see a movie with that subject matter.
Oh, I think we do. I think you and I need to watch it together, is what I'm saying.
So what you're saying is after all these years, we're finally rebelling against our parents' advice not to watch that. And we're going to love it, especially because they told us not to do it.
Yes. We're such rebels. Although, speaking of advice, do you want to move on to if they gave you any when you moved across the country? It makes sense to me now, though, that you were a movie family, and I'm not surprised that you moved out to LA to make movies.
Yes. Good call. So, do you remember either of you any advice that you gave when I moved from Boxford, Massachusetts to Studio City, Los Angeles?
The only thing I can think of that I remember is really pounding it into your head that no matter what somebody does, do not flip them off while you're driving because you're likely to get shot. And
Thanks,
we
Mom.
want to avoid road rage. That's the one thing I remember.
That's the only thing you told me?
I don't remember anything
And
else.
ironically, then I didn't listen to you and I flipped someone off and someone mimed shooting a gun at me.
I was going to say that is great advice that
It
I
really
think
is.
everyone
Don't
should
react.
take to heart. Yeah, because I've had some scary when I've done that, right? The one or two times I've flipped someone off, they've chased me down.
Oh my God, that's what happened to me.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's terrible. It's terrible. You can't do it.
People are
You
crazy.
should have listened to your mom.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mom. Well, she got me some panels that you hold up. But then I was like, this is not going to help. This is just going to get me shot. I do remember advice Dad gave me when we moved to Australia, which was, if this doesn't end up working out, there's always an alternative.
That is also excellent advice. I'm assuming, Alexis, I've discovered you're a very loyal person and very committed. So I imagine you're like me. I'm this way too, where I'm like, I'm going to double down. If I'm doing something, I'm going all in and forget. Also, if you don't like it, you could change your mind and that's okay.
It's true. I think it's hard to sometimes admit defeat or give up. But sometimes, it's such a visceral thing.
Has anything surprised you both about the reality of the animation industry?
I'm not sure I realized just how much goes into making an animated film. I knew it was a lot of work, but nothing like it really is. It's so labor intensive. So that was a big surprise to me.
In general, in relation to film animation, being artistic, I thought the process would be beautiful, that people would get along harmoniously, that politics would not be an issue. Apparently, that is not the case.
No.
No.
But I like that picture. I could see that animation. You're making cartoons. Everyone's singing songs and painting animals.
And rainbows and things.
Yeah.
That was my impression.
If you ever watch behind the scenes footage of anything, right, it's usually fun and
Once you see how the sausage is made, it's
exactly.
Can you imagine them showing like a stressful meeting and just like everyone just ready to like pounce on one another? And that would be crazy.
I'd watch it.
I would really appreciate that both my parents love to wear the crew swag from different projects throughout the years. Do you have a favorite project that I've worked on?
probably K-pop. And it could be just because of how it ended up, but it was a fun film and sparkly, which I like. Yeah.
And the cute cat.
And a cute cat.
I would agree wholeheartedly.
I mean, you got to go K-pop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any more, I don't want to say embarrassing stories about Alexis, but some sort of cute story about Alexis as a kid or a teenager? Was she a good kid? Did she get in trouble?
She really wasn't in trouble much. No, she was
not at
very
all.
good. Yeah. We didn't have the usual teenage brat. And not that she didn't have her moments, but she really was pretty good. Very good horseback rider. And we had Appaloosas. They're basically like a quarter horse and not usually jumpers, but we turned Lacey into a jumper. And Alexis is doing a 3-phase trial. The professionals or the top riders do a 3-day event. First day is dressage, which is like figure skating. And the second day is cross-country jumping, going around, of course. And the third day is stadium jumping. So you're also jumping jumps, but you're inside an actual arena. So on the second phase of the cross-country, I was with her. She's riding through the outdoor course. The horses are a little freer. And Lacey decided she was just going to take that bit in her mouth and take off. And Alexis, I hear this, I'm going to die as I go across one of the jumps. She went right across one of the jumps. I wasn't jumping. And I was on the floor. I was laughing, or rather the ground. I was laughing so hard. It really was
I
funny.
just love that she was laughing.
I
I do too.
Tearing mother, and I'm yelling.
Yeah.
She knew you were going to be okay. It sounds
Yeah.
like. I didn't know you rode horses.
And she actually didn't fall off.
Yeah.
No, she was a really good rider.
What? You were starting to say, Alexis, let's jump into the rapid fire questions.
Should
I
we
think.
rapid fire it?
Yeah, I'll just jump in. Which sounds more stressful, the Oscars or Comic-Con?
I would say Oscars
I agree, because I'm not that familiar
with
with
Comic-Con.
I would agree too.
Which do you think takes longer, making a Pixar movie or building a house?
The movie.
unquestionably.
Speaking of animated movies, how many people do you think work on an animated feature?
A shit ton.
That is the correct answer.
Correct. And I love that mom, when she read that question yesterday, was like, can I say shit? You may say whatever you want. How many emails do you think either of us send in a single workday?
Oh, man. 30. That's a guess.
I actually don't know the answer to this.
I know. I was thinking about that too. It depends what phase of production you're in.
We also do a lot of Slack messaging, and I'd be curious how many of those I'm sending.
Ugh, yeah.
Too many.
Too many. And sometimes I'm just going to walk over and have this conversation in person because it's too much to type.
Yeah.
With everything that you've heard over the years, with different people that I've worked with, what would you say is something that makes someone good at what Natalie and I do for work?
Have to be very organized and detail-oriented, very diplomatic.
Oh,
Yes, sensitive to the needs of other people.
Yeah. I think there's a certain amount of creativity that should be in the personality somewhere to be able to deal with artists, actors.
I like that. That's all true. You've trained your parents well, Alexis. I feel like you're very knowledgeable.
Oh, that didn't make fun of there. That's really nice, Mom.
Do you think production people get enough credit for the work they do?
No, not at all. Do you, John?
I agree.
Yeah.
150%.
It's kind of behind the scenes. People don't see that. You're not writing
The
script.
audience isn't aware.
And I think in the industry, you don't get credit. You should, with the creative side.
You answered correct. I mean, that's why we started this podcast, for that very reason.
Could you imagine if there was an award show for, okay, and next up we've got the best PA or we've got the best.
Dude, if we get more funding, we could do something like that.
I think that'd be awesome. It's like
Yeah.
the
Best coordinator.
best edit department schedule.
What would we call it? The Proddies?
The Proddies.
Oh,
That'd
that's
be cute.
good. I like that.
That's pretty catchy. After hearing everything, I know you've heard the down and dirty of it all throughout the years and like location driven, whether it be on the East Coast, LA, or in Sydney. Would either of you want to work in film?
I think I could find a place that I would enjoy.
Yes. I don't know which department.
You're very musical. You could work as a music editor.
Yeah.
Perhaps, yes.
I could work as a voice actor.
Mom is quite a ham.
A ham.
I love that you both are like, I don't know if I could do it. Meanwhile, you went to law school. You were flying airplanes. I'm like, you can figure out production.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's the thing is film's so interesting because you don't have to be a film major to work in film.
True.
It's got such an eclectic group of people that work throughout the industry.
That's so true.
All right, this is the roast time. What's the most Alexis thing I do?
Socializing. You are very social and you make friends wherever you go.
Thanks, Mom. Oh God, that's what I like look over at my dad. I am sat between my parents.
And you
Some
derive
people.
great pleasure from it.
When we were starting to discover more friends we had in common, a lot of them would say to me, "Oh, Alexis knows everyone. What a great person to have a podcast. She knows everyone. She's friends with everyone." So it's so fun to hear your parents say that.
No.
Isn't that funny?
I'm blushing. I do love people, but I think that's the thing. There's so many wonderful people that work in film.
The two of you are so fortunate in that you're surrounded by such creative, talented people. What a wonderful environment.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Back to your roasting questions.
Oh no.
This one's interesting. What is one thing Alexis has complained about for 20 years that has never changed?
LA traffic. She calls us often when she drives to work, and oh man, the 4-letter words.
The running
fly.
commentary.
Yes, we get the whole deal.
Based on what you know of what it's like to work in the industry, is there any piece of advice that you'd give either of us today?
Build a thicker skin. There are times when you just can't take things personally. The person's an asshole and that's just it. And you have to assume that's true and you just don't get your feelings hurt.
Well said.
Yeah, I have a feeling that goes for a lot of production people, that trait.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
That advice is true. Sometimes someone's just an asshole and you got to work around it.
What has it been like watching me build this career since 2008?
I think I've just been proud of the trajectory. You'd be farther along if you hadn't gone to Australia and back, which set you back, but that's all right because it was a very good life experience and learning experience. And I'm just proud of how you've conducted yourself and where you're going.
Well, Mom, that really means a lot. I love that you're on the roller coaster with me and love you both so much.
I just want to say I've had so much fun talking with your parents. I love meeting people's parents. I think it is so fun. I don't usually get to sit down and interview them, but this makes me want to do that with like all of my friends' parents because it's just so fun to see what contributed to making Alexis the wonderful person that she is. So good job.
Oh, we can't take much credit.
No,
for
that's all her.
it, even though she might think that's the case.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you both being so game for doing this. I know it was a kind of a wild card idea. But yeah, thanks for being my parents and for being on this crazy journey of working on animated films with me. It all goes back to when we said, at the very least, no one may ever listen to this podcast, but at least both of our parents will.
They do. Yeah. They do. And what's exciting is more than just our parents listen to it.
Right?
We surpassed our goal.
But at least we know that we've got our biggest fans beside me, and then I know on your side as well with yours.
Yeah.
And it was nice meeting you, Natalie.
It was really fun getting to know you guys. I loved meeting your parents. That was really fun.
Dude, I loved you meeting them. That was an absolute blast. It was so surreal.
I loved learning that you were a horse girl. I continue to be surprised by all your talents.
Nat.
They were really fun and funny. And I loved your mom's advice about people are going to be assholes and you got to not let them get to you.
Yeah, I was surprised my dad didn't quote his favorite Latin quote. Don't let the bastards get you down. It's something he would always quote to me as a kid, which was very cute.
Really? That's really fun. They're very cool and I'm excited for you to meet my parents. And it's just, I don't know. I was thinking about when we're our parents' age, if you think about that and you're reflecting on your life, like we'll just say specifically animation, what are you hoping comes of this?
Ooh, man, what a good, tricky question. I think it all goes back to, what it is we're leaving behind with each project and legacy, which I know I've been thinking quite a lot lately, especially after Transformers and then going from like the Transformers experience into K-pop, which was like such different responses, even though both critically really successful films, but one did so well in comparison to the other, and it's so out of your control. If I'm being like completely honest, I don't know if the end goal is being a producer. I want to make sure that I continue to learn and be challenged. However, the older I get, as you move up, there's more responsibility and the hours are longer and there's just more stress. And I do think I really want to make sure I'm prioritizing work-life balance, but I don't want to have regrets 40 years from now and be like, I should have traveled more instead of working. And I think ultimately it will make me a better employee, that having that balance and being able to be fulfilled and have the cup filled.
That's juicy. You had that just like at the
I
ready.
don't know where that came from, honestly. I guess there's a lot of top of mind right now with Crookshanks being at the vet. It just really puts things in perspective. I hope that by the time this airs on Tuesday that we'll have better news by then, but my cat is not doing well and is in the emergency room and they're keeping him overnight and it's kidney related and it's really scary. We'll take it one day at a time and just putting all the good vibes out there. But Nat, same question right back at you. What are you hoping that you take away from the industry?
When I asked that, I was like, shit, then she's going to ask me and I didn't answer. And I was like, ooh. But I think my answer is don't let this job define you. I don't want this job to define me. I don't want my identity to feel tied to this job. I think I'm saying something kind of along the lines as you. And I think I'm also saying something I'm just trying to tell myself right now, because it does still feel a little tangled up with this job. And similarly, I don't want to be an animation producer. And I always feel a little bit sheepish saying that because it's like, well, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Yeah, I guess I just don't want to look back and be like, I devoted my whole life to that job in a way that wasn't healthy, right? Or a lot of mental energy in a way that was such a waste of my time. Like, you can still work in animation production, go to work, do a good job, be a good peer or employee, and not have it be your whole frickin' life and not let it define who you are. Like, it's a very US, your career, what are all those stupid sayings? If you have a job you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Or, pursue your passion. And I don't know. Similarly, the older I get, it's like no one's on their deathbed going, I wish I put in more hours on that animated movie that nobody saw.
I remember my old first assistant telling me when I would be like hesitant to ask for time off, she was like, well, what are you going to remember? You working this extra week or going to X, Y, or Z. So she was a big advocate for that. And she's someone who's been around in the industry for a very long time and is very wise. It's interesting, like with interviews and constantly asking, well, what is your end goal professionally? And I don't have that answer right now. At the end of the day, like, I love animation. It's kind of surreal sometimes remembering, as a kid, I just wanted to be a part of these movies and being able to contribute to making the Beauty and the Beast of 2026. So it's pretty cool to keep that in mind because I think it's easy to get jaded. It's so crazy being the jaded asshole now because I don't know how that happened. I guess it's just with experience.
Yeah, we went deep. I thought we were just going to be like, that was such a fun, parent episode. But yeah, I don't know. To your point, yeah, when I was a kid, I was like, I'm going to work in the movies. And look, we did it.
We did it.
And that's awesome. And that can be a chapter. I would sincerely like to say, I hope everything goes well at the vet and that you have good news for us about your cat. I know that's really stressful. Our animals are everything. I feel you. Hang in there.
Thank you. It means a lot.
Should we just end with a fun cat sound effect?
You've been listening to The Production Desk. We are our own producers. Outro by Marcus Taylor.
If you have a moment, we'd love a review wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find The Production Desk on Instagram and Facebook.
For any episode ideas, please reach out.